So I was probably 100 kilos. I've lost about 14 kilos, I think. It's over 2 stone. I fit into my old clothes, still incredibly funny. I think the person here now is, I just say, more balanced. And I think fundamentally I have to say happier.
Can take us back to what life was like before the program.
My 30s were very fun. You finish work every day, you're in London. Let's go for beers, or to get home, get a takeaway, or it would be crisps, chocolate, biscuits. I didn't need to eat all that food, and I didn't need to drink that bottle of wine, and I didn't need that thing for dessert. I realise now I was just so low on energy. I forgot about exercising, and I forgot about looking after myself. Now, when we go for lunch or dinner, I've done 6 workouts in the week, and it's like maybe a Saturday afternoon, and I have a pint and we have something to eat. I go, this feels fantastic. But I just think to myself, God, is this what being normal feels like? I now feel normal. And I'm like, God, I'm such an idiot. Why didn't I just start this 5 years ago?
Hello and welcome to the T2 Fit Talks podcast, where we aim to educate and inspire individuals to achieve their full potential. I'm your host, JT, and today in episode 17, we have one of T2 Fit's very own members, giving us a little insight into what life was like before joining T2 Fit and what life is like now 4 months into the program. So please give a very warm welcome to Johnny. How are you, sir?
Good, thank you. How are you?
I'm all right, mate. I'm all right. How's that sofa working out for you?
All good. Yeah. Very comfortable. Don't ever sit on this one.
No.
Never. Straight in,
you never get the luxury,
work out,
mate.
go home.
Just turn in, get in, coffee, nice. Straight in.
Yeah, I love it.
Very
it's really
nice.
good.
Now, 4 months into the T2 Fit program.
Yep.
Some amazing results, which we're going to go into.
Yep.
But firstly, I want you to really kind of take yourself back and take us back to what life was like before the program. A year, even 2 years, 3 years, whatever it is. Yeah. Give us a little insight into what life looked like, what a day even looked like for you back then.
Okay. I need to set the scene. Okay.
Go for it.
My 30s, I'm 40 now, which is why I've done this, It's your classic midlife, I need to make a change, which is why I joined. My 30s were very fun, okay? That's the first thing to say. Even though very unhealthy, very fun, but unsustainable. So the last few years has been a lot of eating and a lot of drinking and no exercise, basically. Like the odd run here, but horrendous. You feel terrible. You don't know what you're doing. And on an average day, it would be a lot of coffee, probably no breakfast. Lunch would be, fried eggs on toast and, anything else I could have. It would be crisps, chocolate, biscuits, all day through the afternoon. In the evenings, thankfully, my wife is very healthy and she's an amazing cook and she does make very healthy stuff. But it was all the stuff around that. So after dinner, I would then snack in the evening on the sofa. Been pretty much at home all day working, haven't left the house. So that was not so fun. The fun stuff was, the Friday night, go for dinner. Saturday afternoon, go to the pub. Saturday night, go for dinner. During the week, traveling with work or whatever, taking clients out, go for dinner. Really fun, absolutely loved it, but not sustainable. And so I joined T2 Fit.
And what is it you do work-wise? Obviously, like you mentioned, they're going out with clients, all that kind of stuff. What kind of realm do we work in?
So I sell software, mostly to banks. I work for a company that has an automation platform, and it's absolutely phenomenal product, and we sell a lot of it to the banks. But my job is to do that. So going and seeing people and building like genuine relationships, understanding problems, trying to find solutions. We've got a lot of brilliant experts at our place as well. So a lot of the time joining people up and introducing people. So, and also, when you're traveling somewhere to see people, there's an element of socializing as well. But I was doing all that without the exercise, and I wasn't making the right choices really, which is okay on the odd trip or the odd meeting or the odd night out. But obviously it compounds itself over like 10 years and you end up in a position where you're thinking, actually, this is not going to be, if I do this in my 40s as well, I could potentially be in big trouble here. So, yeah. And
you mentioned obviously socializing is a big part of it. What does socializing look like? What does that actually really entail at the level that you were doing it at?
So, the socializing point is, it seemed to me that alcohol's always involved in socializing. Always. And so I'm not like socializing less now, but I just got to be tactical with, when I'm doing it. And, like, for example, I saw my son's godfather and his wife a couple of weeks ago. We took our family, we all went to the pub and we just had a few drinks and it was fantastic. But before, it would have been like, a lot more, alcohol, food, everything. Luckily, he's actually a really healthy guy as well, so it helps. But it's just, I don't know, I have to just tweak these things now and I'm still sociable, but it doesn't have to be 8 pints for a catch-up, God forbid you could have 1 pint or 2, or even none. You have a coffee.
Yeah.
You believe that?
Absolutely.
So yeah, I think, I'm still sociable. Obviously, I'm not like hiding away. But again, everything comes back to choices for me.
Yeah.
And as you said to me, always take a 7-day view.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, you can go and have a few beers then. But like I did last night. And then on Saturday night, I'm not going to have a few beers because I did it on Wednesday night.
Yeah.
Very simple.
So when you were in the thick of that, in your kind of the heightened kind of heyday, shall we say?
Yeah.
How did you actually feel? Like physically, how did you feel on a day-to-day, week-by-week basis?
Well, I realise now I felt terrible because, firstly, getting out of bed in the morning take a long time. I was in and out, sort of snoozing, just very lethargic. Everything seemed like it was an effort. It's really mad to think about it. I was like 38, 39, and I'd wake up, oh my God. And now, I'm in here at 6 a.m. I'm getting up at 5:30. But not even a problem. Like I'm just, alarm goes off, yeah, get out of bed. Loads of energy, great, up we come, let's work hard. It is unthinkable previously of me doing that. I could do it, but it would literally need like 3 alarms, my wife nudging me, and then you kind of, I'd get out of bed and, it'd take ages to really wake up. Now, no, all good, just wake up, get on with it. Just got so much more energy.
But previously that was just, you didn't really see the issue with that. That was like just the norm. You thought that was just kind of what
I was getting
was
a
the
bit
done
old
thing.
and, just, here we go again, another day. Got loads to do, just get on with it, But I realise now I was just so low on energy. Like I can't even really describe it properly. But I was just lethargic. Everything like, Whereas now, I don't know, there's like nothing is too much effort. Nothing feels like too much effort. Everything feels, I don't know, just all good, like even, okay, in the past, got to go into Coulsdon or whatever to get something, okay? Just get in the car and drive in. Now, if the car's not there, my wife's got the car or whatever, walk in, walk back, no problem. Oh, I forgot something, I'll just walk in again, walk back, yeah, whatever. It's fine. In the past, I'll wait for her to get home and I'll take the car. Yeah. Because I was just knackered from doing it. Whereas this way, I don't know, just this kind of explosion of energy. And I think to myself, I'm not like super, super fit where I am. I'm just kind of, going down this path at the moment. But I just think to myself, God, is this what being normal feels like? I now feel normal. And I'm like, God, I'm such an idiot. Why didn't I just start this like 5 years ago? Why did I wait?
And when you think 5 years ago, do you think part of the reason that you kind of just accepted where you were, A, because you didn't know much different, but was it also just the people around you in the very similar boat? So you kind of just saw all your colleagues in the same way? Or?
Well, the funny thing is a lot of my colleagues are super, super fit.
Cool.
We recently did a London to Paris bike ride.
Amazing.
And some of the people came straight back, cycled back as well.
Wow.
These guys are super fit. They do triathlons and Ironmans and everything. And a very good friend of mine at work who's in my team with me, he does like lots of triathlons in the past, super healthy guy, doing a similar thing to what I'm doing here at the moment, actually. Similar time frames as well. So actually, there's no real reason, they're all being healthy. But basically, I just couldn't be bothered. I was being very lazy. But like I say, I can't slate it too much because at the time, it was very fun.
Yeah.
You finish work every day, you're in London. Let's go for beers, or get home, get a takeaway, or Friday night, love it. Round the kids up, round the wife up. Right, what restaurant should we go to? Go to a restaurant. We'd spend hours in there, have it, and we'd had the most amazing time together. I didn't need to eat all that food, and I didn't need to drink that bottle of wine, and I didn't need that thing for dessert. Again, balance and choices. It was a lot of fun, but it's unsustainable. And like you say, about earning it. Now, when we go for lunch or dinner, I've done 6 workouts in the week, okay, all hours, like crack of dawn, and it's like maybe a Saturday afternoon, and I have a pint and we have something to eat. I go, this feels fantastic. Those pints feel better than all those pints I had when it was really fun. It feels so much better now because I'm like, oh my God, I've earned it. It's brilliant.
I think that's really important. It's a really key thing is, you glow when you talk about those times, which is amazing, but you haven't lost those. You still have them there. It just looks a little bit different. And actually, like you say there, something that actually is a bit more fulfilling actually when you do have it.
Yeah. And you don't need to go mad. I don't feel the need. I feel completely content. When I was talking to you guys about joining originally, actually, someone said to me, because I said, look, diet's terrible. I'm out of shape. I drinking too much, all the rest of it. And they said, yeah, obviously cut all this back, but like, don't stop having a few beers on the weekend. Because I don't know why, that's really important to me. There's something about having a pint, just, I don't know, closing out the week or whatever. I don't know, but it's kind of like a symbolic thing, and I enjoy it. The fact that I was coming in here knowing, and this is what makes it sustainable, I am not being asked and I'm not being told, give everything up. Because that's, okay, brilliant, go and drop 3 stone in 3 months. And then what happens? Oh, now I can drink, now I can eat, and you balloon back up. So I've done it dozens of times. You lose the weight, great, completely unsustainable. And that is the difference about this place, is that I'm getting takeaway tonight. I said to you, brilliant. And I had a few drinks last night, brilliant. And I'm monitoring my weight, and I do my 7-day view. I'm not having to give up anything. I'm just eating really healthy during the week, and then you have a treat, it's fantastic. You're back on it, and I'm looking at my weight going, oh my God, it's actually possible. Yeah. So, it's taught me a lot.
Amazing. Now, you mentioned a minute ago that you had the odd run here or there and that kind of stuff during that time.
Yeah.
Did the gym feature at all, either during that time or beforehand? Like, what's your kind of exercise history?
So my exercise history, I was in my teens and 20s, I was quite fit. I was in really good shape, did a lot of exercise all the time. And then, I'm just trying to think now, left university, carried on exercising, was in good nick. Something around, I think it was around, I was actually in really good nick when I met my wife, who was, met her as my girlfriend, who's my wife now. And then, I'm not saying it was married life, because this is what doesn't make sense. My wife is very healthy and she loves exercise. So especially in the summer, she's out 6 a.m. running, and then she'll go and do her gym classes and stuff. And she's a very, very good, experienced swimmer, and she used to swim at a very high level. So she's like, she loves it. She genuinely loves it. And she cooks really healthy stuff. And she doesn't really eat chocolate or crisps, and all this stuff that I do, biscuits, ice cream. And so I'm thinking to myself, the kids, they're all really healthy and exercising, and I'm not. So it wasn't like the family's unhealthy. I was absolutely the outlier. And I think it must have been, around 30, 31. And I kind of, yo-yoed. I call it my Elton John years. If you ever saw, he was like really big and then really thin, like kind of the 80s and 90s. And then I got to 35. So got in decent nick for my wedding 5 years ago today.
Yep.
And then I did, after that, I threw myself into work, like full on. I was like, okay, we've got an amazing product. We've got amazing people. I can see kind of what is possible here. And I made a concerted effort and a conscious decision, and I just went for it. And actually, and this is why my wife is so amazing, that she supports me in that. It was just work, and I was solely focused on that. Everything else went out the window. We are going to be really successful here as a business and as an individual, because it's phenomenal. And I just went full throttle, and I really forgot about everything else. I forgot about exercising, and I forgot about looking after myself, because for me it was just work. That was the priority. And then you get a bit older and you think, okay, I can balance this. It doesn't have to be so intense. And also, again, you can go at 6 a.m. I can come here, work really hard, go back home, and then get the train into town, and I can still be in London for a normal day, having done this. So actually, there are no excuses. People say, I haven't got any time. I just got no time. I'm so busy. Actually, that's rubbish. You just tell yourself that.
So what changed? Because often for someone like yourself who's made that shift, I guess a lot of that is mindset. There's often a thing. There's often something that happens, an event or something that makes them go, okay, right, I need to take action on something. Something needs to change.
Yeah.
What was that for you?
I think turning 40, obviously, and you're like, oh, do you know what? It's difficult to describe, but I thought to myself, if I can get the foundations in place now, then I'm good. 20, 30, 40 years, I can stay fit. I'm confident of that. But I am 40. I could be more than halfway through my life. You've got to make a change. And it wasn't really one moment in time. It was like, I want to get back to being fit. I want to be fit at 40, but actually I need something long term. So it was more, I just started thinking, and I was talking to my wife a lot about it, saying, look, I can just start running outside every morning, but I don't think that's going to help me. I think I need a specific place where a team of people are going to tell me what to do, and I can just get in the zone and just do it, like I've been doing 6 times a week or whatever. So it wasn't like a moment in time, but it was very much a gradual. I turned 40 in February, and then I just spent the next 2-3 months or whatever kind of going, just coming around to the idea. And then it all clicked, and I said, right, we're going to pull the trigger, we're going to go for it.
Did anything, or has anything, I guess, work-wise, volume-wise of your work, has that changed at all?
In my professional work?
Yeah. From your work. So I'm just thinking, when you think about throwing yourself in for 5 years into the deep end with work and trying to really progress the business and your career, you then make that change, obviously, and you go okay, I'm now going to try and make this health and fitness work for me.
Yeah.
But has the workload actually changed dramatically, or has you just made plans and worked all around that stuff?
Yeah, I just work around it. So I always joke with people, I will go anywhere, for work. Anything, whatever, I just love doing it. And so it's still pretty intense. And, when you're doing this kind of stuff, you're working with big organizations. Sometimes it could be working late at night or early in the morning or whatever. None of that's ever bothered me. But again, you convince yourself that you don't have time. Excuses are very easy. And I was horrendously overweight and full of excuses. And then you realize, no, it's possible. If you've got to fly somewhere for work, okay, well, I've got my T2 Fit book. I've got every single exercise and the reps and the weight. And okay, maybe my technique is not going to be amazing if I'm doing it on my own, fine. But yeah, even if it's 9 o'clock in the evening, I can go to the gym in the hotel. 6 o'clock in the morning, gym in the hotel. It's right there. You don't even, here you've got to travel. But if you're away, even more reason you can do it. And that's, before I wouldn't think like that. I can't think about that because I'm going to work, blah, blah, blah. I'm away for work. No. Not true. You can fit it in. It's an hour a day, That's it. It's 1 hour a day. When you think of it like that, yeah, sorry, no excuses.
And you said that you got to that point, everything just clicked.
Yeah.
A little bit of time to obviously mull it over, and you got to a point where it just clicked.
Yeah.
What was it actually that led you through our doors, like through to T2 Fit?
So I started off gyms near me. Yeah. And I looked at all the different options. And I liked it. I'd never seen a setup like that, where it was like these personalized small classes. I couldn't really get my head around it at first. I was like, "But okay, so there's the big classes, the small classes. Do you have one-on-one? Is it?" And what I've learned as well is I've had classes where there's just been maybe 1 or 2 of us randomly, and others where there's 6. I thought I'd love the 1 or 2 people. I prefer the 6. When it's like a team of you doing it. But anyway, so I spoke to Tom, and funnily enough, our first video call, I was in Copenhagen having a Guinness at an Irish pub outside, and I said, look, hi, I can do it now, but just so you know, that's where I am. That kind of sums it up, just had to be, didn't it? So spoke to Tom, and I spoke to a few different places, but the one for me of this one was, I don't know, sometimes it just fits, the kind of atmosphere, the way people are talking and everything, it just fits. And one thing I realized as well is, I sell stuff, okay? And I try not to be that kind of pushy person. And one thing I noticed with the guys here was, I said, look, it's very likely I'm going to come and join you, but I have to get my ducks in a row. There's all sorts of things I need to close out before I do this. No one was pushy. That was the best thing. I was like, good. And then, as promised, I came back and I said, right, let's do the deal. Let's get on with it. But yeah, I think just the general atmosphere, the setup, it just felt, it didn't feel like intense or a pressured environment. It's actually just the general kind of culture and environment and the kind of vibe that I got from speaking to people here, just pretty chilled. You know, everyone's having a good time. Everyone works hard. You know, kind of no judgment. You know, you turn up, you're really overweight. No judgment. Really good. So for me, it felt like a good fit because I was like, okay, I can be myself here. I can just crack on. This is really good. You know, because you don't know, sometimes you do gyms near me, you might end up going to have a look at some like, you know, prison gym, you know, and the guys there and their little vests and they're all absolutely massive and they're pumping like all these metal weights and everything. And you're going to turn up going, oh God, okay. But it wasn't like it here. It was just, I really liked the atmosphere.
Nice. You mentioned that there was a couple of things that you had to kind of overcome or just get right in your mind in the couple of months, 2-3 months leading up to kind of actually joining and taking the plunge.
Yeah.
What were those things, those barriers that you had to overcome for yourself before you actually went, okay, this is now the time?
So I was probably 100 kilos and I said, I'm actually going to lose a couple of kilos before I start. Because I felt then I would be like at least not quite a running start, but I got some momentum coming into it. I also needed to get my head around, because having made all these excuses, my head around timing, almost like mentally prepare myself that instead of taking ages to get up and sleeping loads every night, I'm going to go to 7 hours of sleep, maybe 8 hours of sleep a night, and I'm up at 5:30, and that is just the way it is. And so it was almost like a period of like sort of stealing myself for this thing I'm going to do, you know? And that was it. And I had, you know, just various things going on, and I was like, you know what, I want to give this my full attention. And if I'm going to be in at 6 a.m, if I'm going to be coming in at 7 p.m, or whatever, I need everything completely clear in my mind, and I need it all laid out in front of me. And so timing wise, I was like, right, okay, May, perfect, you know, and then that's why I started then. But yeah, it was pretty quick, to be honest. Like I spoke to my wife after I'd spoken to you guys, and you know what, I've got to say, I've got a good tagline for you. Okay. She said, the reason I must do this, she said, you know what, for once, invest in yourself. And I thought, you know, that is a good line. Invest in yourself. Because you don't ever invest in yourself. You know, when you're going out and doing your dinners and your drinks, or you've got kids and blah, 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 you're never actually investing in yourself. But actually, by investing in this process, you are investing in yourself. You are making yourself better, and you are the one that reaps the benefit. So you can have that one. That's for free.
But it's so true. And the investment, I think when people hear the word investment, they think financial. But actually, it's really not just financial.
It's you're investing time. Mm-hmm. It's like self-care, isn't it? You're investing time. But you're just investing in yourself as a person because you value yourself. You are a valuable thing. So invest in it and take care of it and nurture it. And you will see benefit and results, and it might blow your mind, the results you see. And they're not always physical results as well either. But yeah, as soon as she said that, you need to invest in yourself, I said, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. And
then when you walk through the doors,
yep,
because it sounds obviously like you really put yourself into a position where you prepped, you planned, you had a rolling start,
yep.
And you had a very, I guess, clarity on where you wanted to go.
Yeah.
What were the goals, or what was the goal when you came in for your first session? You were like, okay, in X amount of time, like, this is what I would like to achieve, look like, do.
Well, excuse me. I think the first thing was, obviously I've got to lose some weight. Okay, that's pretty clear looking in the mirror that I need to lose quite a bit of weight. I think what else I wanted was, I wanted to be kind of energized. People who I know who exercise a lot seem a lot calmer. You know, it's almost like they've got some kind of Zen thing going on. I wanted that. I wanted to be calm. And I have to say, one thing I've noticed as well, it's not just weight loss and the more energy, blah, blah, blah. My stress levels are so much lower. Nothing is insurmountable. Just, it honestly, so much calmer. Nothing is, stressful. It's all fine. Any problem is solvable.
What kind of, because that's huge, what kind of impact do you think that is had not only just on you, but those around you?
Well, I think it's had a good impact in the sense that, just generally having more energy. So more, I've always mucked around with the kids, because it's fun. But now having more energy, it is more fun, bench pressing the kids, that kind of stuff. I lifted my son up the other day, one arm over my head, and he just couldn't believe it. He was like, jaw on the floor, and he loves it. He's every day, go and do it. I'm just doing this like 10 times a day. So stuff like that obviously is mega. Again, having more energy means getting up earlier, actually then, because, you know, in the past I could just sleep and I'd be so exhausted that sometimes I wouldn't see the kids in the morning before they go to school. Well, now I see them, you know, walking up to school, walking down from school, like, again, happy to do all of it. And I just think, I think you'd probably have to ask my wife, but I think I'm definitely calmer. I think I'm happier. Really.
Yeah.
It feels really good.
Love that. And what did the first kind of 4 weeks look like coming into the program? Because obviously, you know, you got yourself into a pretty good spot with a routine, getting up early, all that kind of stuff. But when you then really go and put it into practice, you know, in the gym, kind of coming in and doing those sessions, sometimes that can, you know, take a little bit of tweaking and changing.
Yeah.
But how did it feel to be investing in yourself, being part of that community element and coming in and really just knowing, hopefully, that you just kind of found that you were in a place where you trusted the process and you trusted us?
Yeah. So, well, I remember the first day because it was Em who gave me kind of an induction, and we were just over here, and she said, oh, you know, plank and then bring your right foot up and then just put, I couldn't do it. I just was out of it. Had no flexibility. I mean, I was blowing just from doing like a press up. I was like, this is going to be proper hard work. But again, that's why I was mentally preparing myself before I joined. But then having that community, that first month, it was hard. You cannot avoid the fact that if you get into the shape I was in and you want to get it back, you got to work hard. You can't cheat it. You got to eat healthily and you got to work hard. And when you're in here, I read these like the rules of engagement or whatever or something when I first signed up, and it was quite interesting that it was like you have to commit to basically giving your best, and we will give you our best, which I quite liked. And because I was like, yeah, I mean, I know it's just words on a page, but for me, I was like, yeah, I am actually going to go in and I'm going to do whatever I'm told, you know, whether that's taking the weight up, taking the weight down, whatever. Technique, you know, I've got terrible technique still, but I'm there every day. Every day people are telling me, no, try like this, try it like this. But you just got to commit to it, you know? And the first month, it was hard, but I started seeing results pretty quickly because obviously I tweaked my diet as well and, you know, all the rest of it. That then spurs you on. It's a cycle. If you see the result, you want to go further, you want to do more. And so that first month was really hard, but really positive. And then I had my first scan and I was like, oh, wow, there's a tangible thing here in front of me that is showing me how well I've done so far. Well, let's do it again. And then you start the second month, you know, and you just go.
And the results that you've had so far, I think we're just shy of 4 months into the program.
Yeah.
What results have you seen and felt so far?
So, I mean, obviously, I have lost quite a bit of weight. So that's a physical thing. I can see I fit into my old clothes, you know. I've had to dig them out, you know, because like my current clothes don't fit me. I said, well, I'm not buying new clothes. I have to go through all this stuff like, oh my God, yeah, I have this. I forgot about this. So I'm wearing all my old clothes. So I look like I'm dressed how I was 10 years ago. And then so I've lost, it's about 14 kilos, I think, which is, I don't know in pounds, but you know, it's over 2 stone. I've still got quite a bit of way to go because I do want to lose more. I know where I want to get to. The big thing for me is on those scans as well is things like your, I think, metabolic age or something, you know, that's coming down. Because I was like, you know, I wasn't too far off, but I was worried, you know, that I'm 40 and before you know it, my metabolic age is going to be like 50 and that's no good. So seeing that come down is really nice. I don't know, it's just one number on a page, but that's, for me, that's probably the most important thing I look out for on a scan.
Yep.
So that's been great. Oops, sorry. So yeah, I think the physical thing is the most thing people notice. They haven't seen you for a while either. They go, oh my God, you know, wow. And you're like, yeah, but it's not just that. You know, it's all this other stuff. You know, funnily enough, I've done it, you know, all this time now. I was saying to my wife the other night, I still don't really have biceps. So I need to find an exercise for biceps because I really don't have. We do the bicep curls and they're like, oh, you know, yeah, good, pull it up here. And they kind of, you know, they'll like pinch you on the biceps. So it should be working here. I was like, mate, there's nothing there. So that's the one thing I would like to change at the last 4 months. That's what I want now is I would actually like to have some biceps.
But like, this is the thing this is something that you're invested in. Like this is now a new path, a new journey for you. Road to Johnny's biceps is on track.
Yeah, man.
So the biceps is going to be there. And we'll come on to the longevity of the program a little bit later on, but you've had some fantastic changes, like say over 14 kg, I think probably over 5% body fat and drop in still.
Yep.
What would you say are the top 3 things that you've had to change to allow that to happen?
So the top 3 things to change. Well, diet, obviously. So what was it? They say you can't outrun a bad diet. Mm-hmm. It's true. So, whether people like it or not, you got to eat healthily. But there's actually some really nice healthy food out there. So, if you have like a nice piece of cod, with an Asian salad or whatever, and you eat it and you go, actually, this is really nice. What's the problem? It doesn't have to be beige food all the time, So diet, and again, I'm very lucky that my wife is very healthy. So we always have like food from around the world, ultra healthy. So I got no excuses on that part. I don't snack now. If I do, I have an apple or a banana. It's very simple. Everyone knows what's healthy, okay? I know what's healthy, but it didn't stop me in the past being unhealthy. Now you just, again, make the right choices. So diet is very important. Hard work. You come into the gym. Obviously, if you don't want to work hard, you're not going to work hard. But actually, why not test your limits? I have done deadlifts with some very nice middle-aged women who are incredibly strong. I was totally inspired. I was saying to this woman, you are seriously strong. That is epic. That is wicked. And I was working with her in a couple of classes, and I was like, this is fantastic. She was absolutely bossing it, mate. That bar, just bang, bang. And the weight's going up. And I was like, you are an absolute phenomenon. This is wicked. So, but that's the point. She was working hard, You get in here, you work hard. And the third thing is rest. I'm not going to bed at like midnight anymore. I'm going to bed at like 10. And that is amazing.
Yeah.
I really love it. So yeah, they're the 3. Diet, exercise, rest. I mean, it's not rocket science, is it?
This is the thing, it's not, I think it's simple, not easy. I think what you've highlighted very, very clearly today is it does start with a mindset shift. There has to be that little bit of a thing in you where you go, okay, I need to make some changes.
Yeah.
But the beautiful thing there is actually you do have control of it.
Yeah.
And as soon as you get yourself into that mindset, you can start to make things happen. And it is not always easy, but you do have control.
Yeah.
And like you say, it hasn't got to be overly time consuming. It's the hour of your day, hopefully an enjoyable hour of your day.
Yeah.
And it's just making those small little changes for what we're seeing there, a huge reduction in weight and a massive change in lifestyle, which is fantastic.
Yeah.
I'm sure it hasn't all been plain sailing.
Oops,
have you had any kind of barriers and challenges that you've had to really kind of overcome?
I think just generally my body's a bit knackered, and some days, when your back's really hurting, it's just annoying. The amount of times I've said to someone, the weight is fine, but the technique is not, and my back is giving me problems, or my shoulders. Even without a weight, I can't bring my elbows forward when I do the bar. I mean, it's things like that. You just think, I think I might actually start doing some yoga or something just to kind of get that flexibility. But they're the real big challenges for me, is like these kind of internalized injuries or niggles that I have that are affecting how hard I can work. Because you're kind of going, actually, this weight is fine, I can do this. But some part of my body seems to be stopping me from progressing. So that's a really frustrating thing. I think one thing as well is when I first started, I was doing like the sweat classes. And I really didn't enjoy them, but I did them because I have to. But now I've found the functional strength class, and that is the one. I started doing that. I'm telling you should have 1 a day. I'm telling you, like 2 a day, but you'd fill them out. It's an amazing class. And I think I was in like the first one they did, and it was just, they've tweaked it since then. That was absolutely brutal. But I think it's really important to find something that you can enjoy, if that makes sense. Because when I look at sweat and functional strength, 2 classes, I probably burn the same calories in each class, roughly. One was horrendous, and the other, even though really hard, absolutely loved it. It's funny, isn't it? Because you're actually just still blowing either way, still burning. So I think that's really important when you join any gym or you're doing anything like this, is try everything. You've got to be completely open-minded. So I did every type of class, you know, first thing in the morning, last thing at night, Saturday morning, whatever. Find the things you like. And then you're into your routine. You know, now you know what you like doing and you can just crack on. Yeah. And I'll tell you something else. Okay, this whole getting up early. When it's like a beautiful, like blue sky and it's 5 to 7 in the morning and I have already done my workout, I've got my water, you put your shades on, the windows down of the car and you're just cruising home. That is a seriously addictive feeling. You're at home 7 in the morning, you've done your exercise. You are done and it fuels your day. Seriously, you could bottle that. You make a lot of money, that feeling. It's amazing.
What kind of effect does that have on your productivity that day?
Wow, you just feel like indestructible, you know. It's like you're going to the station. I'm there on the platform. 6 months ago, I'd be on the platform, having rushed to get there, feeling pretty ropey, need some coffee. Now I'm there, today almost like floating. You know, you just feel really good. Loads of energy. Life's good. I don't know. It's a really magical feeling.
So what's the goal now moving forward? Obviously we mentioned longevity and kind of this is a big change for you lifestyle wise. What's the plan moving forward to keep that kind of momentum rolling for you?
Yeah, well, just don't stop really. I mean, it's not a case of you get to a point and then, oh, well done me, pat on the back and stop. No, that's the point about preparing yourself mentally for an experience like this, which is actually this sort of stuff is not short term. This is now your life. Like basically forever, you are going to work out 6 times a week. Workouts could be different, but you are working out 6 times a week. That's it. And I was saying to you, you know, towards the end of this year, I'm going to be doing hopefully a lot of traveling with work. And it's like, fine, I've got my booklet. I'll be staying in hotels with gyms. I will be making the time. And that's just it. You can't compromise, actually. I don't know. Maybe people can, but I personally can't. I work out 6 times a week. That's it. Yeah. And I won't compromise on it. And even if that means that on one day I can't work out, then maybe I'll do 2 workouts on another day, like whatever. But just hit that number and that's my life and it's all good. And Sunday's a rest day.
So do you think there's an importance, obviously, of having structure and routine, but also the ability to kind of, I guess, adapt to that over a course of, like, as we mentioned earlier, over a 7-day period?
Yeah. So you've got to, I think, routine. I need routine. I need that, you know, my Tuesday 6 a.m. Full body, my Wednesday 6 a.m. upper body. Like I have to have that in the week. My Saturday run club, that's the kind of baseline. I think that the key thing is as well, don't beat yourself up, okay? If you literally cannot exercise on a day, don't worry about it. It's like saying, well, don't worry if you have that pizza, or don't worry if you have those pints. Don't worry, because these one-time things you're doing, no problem. The overarching theme is you are healthy and you exercise a lot and blah, blah, blah. So don't worry. So that's another thing I've learned is don't beat myself up. If it's not even falling off, it's just, you know, if you miss a workout or whatever. But I have to say, you know, even if if I just had half an hour and I was in another city or whatever, go and do a 5K. Go and do a 5K, half an hour. There you go. How hard is that? It's not. And last time I did a 5K actually was in Copenhagen. I got lost because there's a bit of a warren there and I know it quite well. And I was asking all these people, like, I couldn't work it out. And my phone, I couldn't get the map up. And I said, hang on, but I swear I've done this loads. Anyway, ended up doing 9K because I got lost. And I was like, actually, it's fine. Yeah. I still made all my meetings on time. Everything was good. But I was like, yeah, sweet. You know, it's just great. But you've always got time. You can always do it. And don't beat yourself up.
Yeah. Try and sum up for me what that person was like in their 30s, mid-30s versus the person sitting here today.
So, I mean, sense of humour wise, same person, still incredibly funny, still very sociable. I think the person here now is, I just say more balanced, and I think fundamentally I have to say happier, you know. I think that, like, I'm really happy in my professional life. I'm really happy in my personal life, my wife and children. I love them dearly. Everything's great. The only actual problem I realised was actually just me. And that's now coming back, so it's all good. I just feel very grateful, and I feel just zen. I feel very calm, loads of energy. I'm becoming an optimist, and I have always been known as a pessimist. And I'm becoming quite optimistic about things, which is unheard of. So, you know, I can't say that optimism is going to last forever, you know. I think I might come back to being a pessimist. But, you know, on the whole, I just think it's been a really kind of life-changing experience because, well, I think I'm going to probably live longer because I've started doing this. And you can't get more life-changing than that, can you?
Well, something that you mentioned to me not that long ago, really, which really hit home. And it's always that dream result, I guess, for us and what we do here, is you said that the program and that change for you has literally saved your life.
Yeah, of course. If I carried on, 30s, if I did it all through my 40s, you're 50, I might have had a metabolic age of like 65, 70. You know, you're getting into trouble there. And that's when you're seeing, you know, cardiologists and oncologists and every other ologist and nah, not for me, not yet. You know, it's probably going to happen one day, but not yet. I'm going to have some fun before that. And this has definitely, you cannot live how I was living long term. And like I say, very fun, and it's all good to do it for a few years, but you've got to bring it back and just be a bit more sensible. And I think coming through the doors, working hard, you know, try and enjoy it sometimes, has probably ultimately saved my life in the end. When I look back on my life, it probably would have saved my life, yeah.
So what would you then say to anyone who was either, you know, thinking about joining T2 Fit or just anyone looking to make that change, that shift in their lifestyle?
Yeah.
What would you say to that person who's sitting there right now, maybe listening to this, watching this, going, yeah, I kind of resonate with that a little bit. That could be me. I could be the one making that change. Yeah. What's your biggest piece of advice?
So I would say that if you're umming and ahhing, first of all, what harm can it do? Okay. What harm can it do eating a bit healthier and doing some exercise? Seriously, there's no health warning with that. I think you should, if you're umming and ahhing, I think the decision is already made. Because it's either a no or it's a yes. If you're umming and ahhing, that means it's a yes. You should do it. I come back to this same thing my wife said. I would say to them, invest in yourself. I would say, come up and have a look. Do you know what's great as well? You come in. I mean, obviously you guys who work here are all ripped and like professionals, and that's great. But all the people like me, no one's really like ripped. It's all people like me just trying to be better people or better versions of themselves. So it's not intimidating, which is also good. But I would say anybody who's thinking about it, you know what you should do? Come up and have a look. Just come up and have a look and see the environment and the culture. And then honestly, invest in yourself, dive in head first, give it a couple of months and see the results come in. And I promise you, you won't regret it.
Love that. And then give me one thing that you would love to achieve by the end of this year.
What, here?
Yeah, here, generally, in life.
Well, in life, I'd like to win the Euro Millions.
Yeah, you and me both.
Yeah,
that's on my list for sure, yeah.
If I won the Euro Millions, I would get actually a field, and I would probably recreate this. Get a barn, and I'd recreate it. And have all you lot come. Imagine all 6 of you just for me.
Love that.
Yeah, okay, so apart from winning Euro Millions, what else do I want to do? So I've got a target weight in mind. I'm not rushing it. I know roughly where I want to get to. Then it's about maintenance, you know? I just want to be able to enjoy my life, stay at that weight. I was thinking actually I might try a new sport. You know, now I've got that kind of base level of fitness. I think I'd like to try a new sport. I'm thinking of doing like a martial art or something, taking the kids down and maybe we'll do it together. So that's what I'd like to achieve by the end of this year is get to my target weight, try out a new sport and basically just continue on this path. And I tell you, last week when I did functional strength, that was the first time since I've joined where I felt genuinely fit. Now, obviously not as fit as you professionals, but from where I was, and it was really hard. And obviously the more you do, you know, the weight goes up, the resistance goes up. So obviously it's always working hard, but I was doing it and it was really difficult, but I was doing it. And I was like, I actually feel quite fit now. That is a serious feeling, because I've just been blowing for so many months. Oh God, this is so hard, and it's still hard, but I'm just up and on and on. And I was like, wicked. So I want that feeling to continue. I think, well, how fit could I get? So if you think about end of the year, there's still quite a few months. I don't know. And I want to get my 10K time down to 50 minutes.
10K 50. Yeah.
That's actually probably the big goal. Yeah.
And how far are you away from that now?
So I've only ever done 3 10Ks.
Yeah.
So we started a few weeks ago.
So that was only in the last month?
Yeah, last month. Yeah. You turn up and Luke sort of says, oh, and there's a 10K today. And obviously, because it's me and my mind, I go, well, I'll do the 10K. He could tell me there's a 20K. And I go, well, I'll do the 20K because I'm an idiot. And so I did it. First week, I did 55 minutes. And then I got down to 54 minutes. And I was like, yeah, hang on. I mean, I'm no runner. But I was like, this is a good goal to have, isn't it? So now I'm going to really push. And I want to get, by the end of the year, 50 minutes. I think that's a good goal to have.
Yeah, absolutely. And I've heard that you charge those streets a little bit as well on a Saturday morning.
Yeah, man, it's good. It's a great way to start the weekend.
Yeah.
Again, you finish. There's this feeling. I actually told somebody in Purley about this ages ago. There is a feeling, which personally I love. When you have done a run, you get home, you have a shower, you put on some comfortable clothes, you have a coffee, you sit on the sofa, your legs are almost like tingling a bit. Wow. That's the one. I love that feeling. Yeah. I mean, I hate it when I'm running. First K, disgusting. Stop. Going. And by the end, you're like, oh, for God's sake, just got to get to the end. You get to the end, yeah, awful, blah, 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 tired, sweating. Get home, get that feeling. You're like,
yeah.
Okay, so I've got to go through that hour of pain for this feeling. 100% worth it.
Love that.
I love it.
That's perfect. Johnny, thank you very much for your time, mate. I really do appreciate that.
Pleasure.
And a massive well done for changing things around and the results that you've had, for sure.
Thanks to you and the team.
I'm looking forward to seeing the rest of the results and what martial art you choose. I'm interested in that.
Yeah, I don't know, I'm thinking like Taekwondo or something.
Yeah,
I don't know, something.
We'll see.
And who knows, maybe by the end of the year I might have a bicep. Or
hopefully two of them. There you have it. The episode is done, in the books. Like, subscribe, you know the plan. And we'll see you again very, very soon for the next one.